The eviction and foreclosure moratoriums are done. It is going to be the year of the short sale starting the second half of 2022. You heard it here, folks. So what do? We brought in short sale expert, over 20 years in the industry, Matthew Merenoff. He's got a new book out. It's fire. I just ordered it. He dropped some real gems in this podcast. Check it out. Welcome everybody back to another episode of You Know It, You Love It. Oh, God. Smells like cat pee with Handsome. I'm your host, Charles Weinraub, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, a.k.a. Captain Pyramid, a.k.a. Mark, say it. You don't give a shit. El Judío Maravilloso, a.k.a. El Chula de las Casas, a.k.a. the man who's going to flip 200 houses this year and next year. So we got a really good podcast today. We got a bunch of these coming up with some real high-level people from out of the area. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We have the king of short sales. He's got a new book out. We're going to talk about it. Matthew Merenoff. Bam!
What's going on? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Dude, it's really good to connect with you. We've been trying to do this for some time now. I've been hunting you down, charismatically torturing you for at least 6 to 12 months. And then it took basically me laying in a pool of garbage shirtless to get you to be like, all right, this guy's nuts. I got to do it.
I mean, it's so weird because I was like, I feel like I saw the message on the pillow when nobody caught it. It says, Matt, reach out. And I'm like, this is really weird. Like I've had a couple different ways where people want to communicate with me, but you know, dude, that video was insane, dude. That Valentine video.
Listen, man, whatever it takes to get you on here to chop it up, to talk about short sales, because
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Everybody thinks that they know about short sales, but nobody really knows about short sales. Like there is a very small percentage of people that really actually know what they're talking about. Yes. You're that guy.
Yes. I'm that guy without saying I'm that guy.
You're the what's the word I'm looking for? You're
short sale savage.
Yes, but in stores now, people. So give us the 90-second kind of background about who you are, what you do, where you came from.
So believe it or not, I was a train operator. I worked for New Jersey Transit.
Really?
Yeah, not too many Jewish people driving trains, but hey, you know what? It is.
I didn't realize that you were Jewish. It took me this long to get you, and you're a fellow landsman?
Yes. We're part of the same tribe, bro.
So why did you put me through all this?
I don't know. You know, it's the game, though. It's the torture.
You have to make me earn it. I respect that.
I had to marinate it.
Keep going.
So I had to get out of the transit industry because I actually got sick. And I wasn't able to be a train operator anymore. And it was sad. But my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law gave me an opportunity to get involved in the mortgage industry. Now,
okay. How long ago was this? Pre-crash or after crash?
No, before crash.
Before the crash. All right, so perfect.
So pre-crash. I actually got into doing short sales 2005. 2015, I ended up doing this stuff on a national level and working with other people in other states. So it's funny to see how the market is starting to change a little bit right now. People are starting to panic, whereas before, like there was plentiful houses on the market. You know, I was talking to one of the top agents in Jersey, well, I think is, and he's like, dude, there's a 25% drop right now in inventory.
Yeah, there's nothing.
And agents that are listing agents are starting to panic a little bit because you've got all these buyers. Everybody's got 100 buyers who wants to buy properties, but there's nothing to list. So you're doing things a little unconventionally. So people are like, dude, did you plan it this way to drop your book? When you dropped it, the answer is no, but it made sense. So I got into the industry really by chance. I was helping people marketing their properties for sale by owner. And it was really wild because I failed general mathematics in high school 3 times. I am horrible at math. If it's not a plus or a minus or a division, I after that, I'm lost. So when my kids are like, "Hey, Dad, can you help me with math?" I just keep going. Like, I don't know who Dad is. Maybe you're calling your mom, but you're making a mistake. Maybe she's called Dad. So me no so good with math though. But anyway, but I understood how to read people. So for me, it was very easy to make the transition where I was Fizbo man. I was literally helping people market their houses for sale by owner. And it was really successful. Had a great time with it. We generated hundreds of leads every single month where people were looking to purchase properties. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it was amazing. And it worked out really, really well.
I'm actually curious to know, what were you doing for these people? Like, how would you find them, and then how would you help them sell their house by themselves?
So I would go to open houses.
Okay.
People were selling properties privately, or I would call people. I'll give you the whole spiel. You ready?
Give it to me.
I'm gonna slap it down hard. So what happened was, I would call people up. It's like, listen, I see you're marketing your property professionally for sale by owner.
Okay.
They would laugh and say, "Well, I don't know about professionally." And I said, "Well, I'm trying to break the ice. What you have is very amateurish in the newspaper ad that I'm looking at as far as marketing, whatever. And it looks like you're spending a tremendous amount of money. What if I showed you a way that you could market your property for a third of the price and get more exposure over the course of a week? What's the cost? Zero. But you have to follow what I tell you to do. When can you come over? It was really that easy. There's a lot of information behind it, but here's what happened. People were diarrhea of the mouth and putting in an ad over the course of a weekend and spending upwards of $250 to $1,000 a week marketing the property, and they were marketing it incorrectly. So I said, look, less is more. It's kind of like, look, you go on a date, you get to know them, you maybe kiss on the first date, maybe not. We're going to take it back even further than that. There's going to be no makeout session. You're not eating dinner together. You're sitting on either sides of the table. So now you're trying to figure out, like, what can we do? Like, how do we connect? And people would laugh and say, "You're insane." And I say, "You have no idea." So what we did was we had an 800 number, and it went like this. "Thank you for calling 22 Main Street. Properties located, blah, blah, blah. Information about the house, blah, blah, blah. At this time, homeowner is not interested in speaking with real estate agents. They'd only like to speak with prospective buyers. If you're a homeowner, a potential homeowner, and you want to speak with the homeowner directly, press 1. If you'd like to find out how you can purchase this property with as little as $500 out of pocket, hit 7 now to speak with the preferred lender of this property." So it didn't matter whether it went to 1 or 7. It always went to the person who was writing the mortgages. Why? Because I told the homeowner, wouldn't you want to speak with someone who's qualified or pre-qualified? Because, guys, you're a real estate agent now.
Holy
You're
shit.
marketing house as a real estate agent.
Yeah, that's really smart.
You don't even have an attorney in place.
So
wouldn't it make sense?
So you were doing this so you're writing mortgages and you're like, how do we get good leads and utilize for sale by owners? And that's what you did?
Killed it.
Oh, awesome. Wait, so
killed it.
So what was it? A website? How were you marketing it?
So I can't say the website because we're not with the company anymore, but we ran on a national website and we had territories and we marketed everything through the mortgage company under the premise of this. Then we had signs that were in the ground, had the website, had the 800 number with the extension, and it had information for financing on the house on the sign and how you could buy the property with as little as $500 out of pocket. Fucking phones went bananas. And people were buying properties like, it's like driving through Starbucks now. Everybody wanted it. So Here's what happened. The reality is this. Not everybody that went to the property could qualify for a mortgage. Some people that went to the property that were qualified for the mortgage, we had the opportunity to try to qualify them or gain their business. The homeowner loved it because now it's an extra layer of an onion that's being unveiled or wrapped or whatever you want to do, or being peeled back to protect them. Because you never want to go into contract with somebody that's not qualified to buy a house, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it worked really well. Now, towards the end, I was pissing off a guy who was buying the rights to properties, and his partner was getting very upset. And he's like, "This guy, Matt Merenoff, he's all over the place, and he's helping people, and he's not making any money. It's ridiculous." So his partner picks up the phone and says, "Listen, you're pissing my partner off, which makes me laugh every time he comes back into the office. Can we meet? Can we talk?" And I said, "Sure." Came in, talked. He says, "I'm doing a class. This is the class, blah, blah, blah." He goes, "Or you could give me your watch. Uh, and then, and if you bring your first deal, whatever, we'll figure it out." I took the class. I excelled at it. It made sense. I had a collection experience. So for me, it was really a no-brainer. So 48 hours later, I tied up my first deal, never looked back. It happened to be a short sale. And he goes, "Dude, I don't know anything about short sales." And I go, "I don't know. I guess you sell it short. I don't even know. You looking up a dress? I don't know what it is." So he said, "Well, you have collection experience, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, so he's like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, sure." He goes, "You're a negotiator." So 2 years later, I started teaching people in 2007 on how to do short sales, and I never looked back. So 2005 and 2007, and then from probably, I'm going to say 8 through 11, I went real dark. And I didn't like, nobody was like, "Dude, where did Matt Marinoff go?" And what I did was I actually I'm getting chills right now. I perfected my craft on what is a short sale? What does it mean to do a short sale? Like when I tell people my company name is Real Estate Recovery Group, I spell real estate one word for a reason. Because people are like, "Dude, I know you're dyslexic and all that other stuff, but why do you spell real estate one word?" I spell it because it's real estate, and it says as RRG, which is rules, regulations, and guidelines. So that's how I came up with Real Estate Recovery Group. So I run the premise of my company with rules, regulations, and guidelines, which I went dark for years, learning and learning. It's like self-taught education and dealing direct with people inside the bank. So now doing it for 17 years, you got to think like how much information is in my head.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, because I felt like people need to understand the firm foundation on top of a footing before they can actually scale and build a house. Because
Yeah.
you renovate and you build. If you don't have a proper footing and foundation, the house is going to fall. Similar with a short sale. So that's why I wrote the first book the way that I did.
And I would argue to say that if you're a real estate agent or an attorney or anybody who is negotiating a short sale, you really need to know what you're doing, or you could mess somebody up bad. Like there's a time frame on these things. The banks are coming. They're not wasting time. So if you're inexperienced and you're messing this thing up and somebody ends up losing a house because of it, like that's on you.
I try to explain to people, especially in this book, is that people need to understand there's a formula that you need to follow. And if you don't follow that formula, you are in danger of literally throwing somebody into foreclosure, point of no return, where there is no, they have nothing guarding them from the bank taking the property, which is really scary. So the book had to be written. It took me a long time to write the book. Um, um, I had so much information I had to pull out of it because it was information overload. But it's a perfect dosage of people to understand and say, "Hey, you know what? Like what he said, makes sense. I want no part of it because it's a train wreck." It's like when real estate agents like, "I'm a short sale." I love when people say, "I'm a short sale certified." Well, what does that mean? I'll ask them like one or two questions, and then from there, they don't answer it because they don't know what to say. So I'm like, so basically, you got a certificate that says I'm a short sale expert. Well, that's great. For me, if I was in a pinch and I knew you were with me, I'd say, "Hey, can I get that certificate? I've got a bad case of diarrhea. I've got to wipe my ass." And that's what I would use, because they don't give them enough information.
Yeah.
They give them enough information to understand the premise of it. Like, what's warm globin? right? So it's the atmosphere, right? And everybody's worried about aerosol spray and stuff like that. Well, that's what this is, but that doesn't give you the information to say that you're an expert or I took a class. That scares me because I
No.
talk to people that have taken the classes, and the classes scare me because it doesn't give them enough information that they should really be telling people what to do that are in distress, and they're looking to those people for help when they really shouldn't be doing that.
So just so people that are watching this or listening to this understand that, obviously I do a lot of deals on Long Island. I don't know everybody, but I know a lot of people.
Yeah,
People that are on Matthew's level on Long Island, well, not on Matthew's level, but people that are competent enough to negotiate short sales on Long Island, you can count them on less than one hand. So
right.
for all the people that are really running around doing this, not many people really understand the nuances of doing it. Can you kind of share just like some common misconceptions and things that people believe that aren't true about short sales, or just kind of general insight about it?
100%. I'll give you the number one. Uh, the property doesn't have to be listed on the MLS actively, which is the multiple listing service, for the property to be marketed for them to put a buyer in place. That is absolutely not true. And maybe 1 out of 100 lenders will say it doesn't have to be in the MLS. It means 99% or 99 other people want that property marketed.
Yes.
There's a time frame when the property has to be marketed. If they don't follow that time frame, and then you go through all the underwriting process, and you get to the point where you're going to get an approval letter, and somebody reviews the packet and sees that that property was not marketed long enough, they could kill the file and make them remarket it. And by doing that, reruns the clock. So by doing that, now you're starting the process all over again and say, go get another buyer for the property. Well, we have 5 backup offers, but the property wasn't marketed long enough. So go back and put it on the market for the time frame that you should have done it. Have I seen it? Yeah. Do they always do it? Yeah. Does it mean they're going to snag you? And no, they're not. But if you get somebody that's a stickler,
Yeah.
you can single-handedly drive somebody into foreclosure. The other thing is listing the property. Can you be the listing agent and can you be related to the homeowner? Can you have the same last name? You shouldn't, because the bank could turn around and go, uh-oh, this is arm's length transaction. You are related to the person. Thanks so much for doing the deal. That $25,000 commission you're supposed to get, you're not getting a nickel. So there's a lot of things that are in play that people really don't understand, that they really should understand. And I tell people, stay in their lane. Like, have I been involved in renovation of projects? Absolutely. Do I post it on social media? No, I don't, because that's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is working with distressed people that are either a homeowner or an investor with a failed project, or a commercial project where sometimes something like that happens and it ends up being a distressed sale. Doesn't necessarily, when someone says to me they haven't paid their mortgage in 8 months, oh my God, it's a short sale. Just because they haven't paid their mortgage, it doesn't mean that it's a short sale. It means that it's a distressed sale. So I try to show people how to qualify what they need to do, and I do that through online education training that I have in place. But primarily my main goal and focus is to help people understand how the process works. And that's really one of the main reasons why I wrote my first book, because people need to understand there's a process.
Yep.
And if you don't follow it, it's going to fail.
Without a doubt. So just some other common misconception questions that I'll throw out to you that people always ask is, A, can you if someone's not behind on their mortgage, can they still short sale their house?
And you want me to turn around and ask you that same question and see if you know it, or do you want me to answer it?
No, you could. I mean, we could go one question I could answer, one question you could answer. I'll answer this one. In my experience, in my opinion, absolutely. Just as long as you could show some kind of a hardship, like they're current, but the house is worth way less than what they owe, you could short sale the house. That's been my experience.
If the house is less or close to, like if you're on the cusp and you're paying your mortgage and you have a hardship and it's a true hardship, you don't necessarily have to go delinquent in your mortgage.
Yeah.
As long as you show. So I feel like I'm on the Hollywood script. No, a Family Feud. Ding. Because I'm getting ready to go. Go ahead. So yes, 100%.
So And I'll ask this one. This is a question that comes up all the time, and I would love to get your feedback on it. Taxes.
Yes.
People like, I'm short selling my house. Am I going to be responsible for this? Am I going to have to pay some taxes? Am I going to have a judgment against me? What goes on?
That's a loaded question right there. And I could go on for like 45 minutes, but I'm going to give you a short version of it.
Yeah.
If you can show insolvency and that you don't have a way of either paying it, or you never had a way of paying it, or your taxes reflect that you don't have a way of paying it, or you do have a way of paying it, but you have a creative accountant that maybe he can make it, which is called a 1099-C form. And then from that, they have to figure out, what their quote unquote obligation would be. But typically when we do the short sales, we try to make it, because forget the tax ramifications. People are worried about the deficiency side of it.
Yeah.
Can they go after it? And one of my stories in my book is about a moron that had a property, that bought a property cash in another state, and the bank did an asset search on him and found out and wanted to hit him with $115,000 deficiency. I got it down to $5,000 at the closing table.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things that are in place that people don't take into consideration. So it really depends on the situation. And I say this all the time. Even though, and I'll give you an example, I'm not going to say a bank, but let's say ABC Lending, and then you have ABC Servicing, then you have ABC Lending, then you have CD Servicing. Everybody's all like, oh, it's the same servicing company, or it's the same mortgage company. Well, it might not be the same investor of the loan. So each loan, believe it or not, has its own DNA. So I tell people, not all short sales are the same.
No, definitely not.
So if someone says to me, oh my God, but no, it's the same. It's the same. It's not the same. Just shut up. You sound like an idiot. Just listen. Because what the problem is, the people, they hear what you say, but then they don't listen to what you say.
Yes.
So people are watching this video right now, and they're probably going to go back and watch it a couple of times. It's okay. Most people only retain 7% of what they watched the first time. And then they go back again and watch it again, unless you're stoned. Then when you're stoned, you retain 80%.
Is that true?
Hypothetical. So I tell people all the time, like, I'll go as fast or I'll go as slow as you want as far as education. I'm starting to do corporate training now, and I'm doing like one-on-one training again. I stopped for a while.
In short sales?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
You're doing corporate short sale training?
If somebody wants me to come in and they want me to train their office, I will physically come in and I'll do like, depending on their budget, I'll do like a 1 or 2 day training session with their office. I can give somebody enough information that they can be, dangerous. Yeah. But do I think that they should know all the tools? Probably not. Because then they don't focus on their main goal. Everybody wants to be a listing agent. How are you going to be a listing agent? You're going to work on short sales.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I always tell agents, that's not the highest and best use of your time.
100%.
The highest and best use of your time is going out, securing the deals, and then coming to these people and saying, listen, I have a team. And part of that includes an amazing short sale negotiator who's going to take the ball and run with it. What is just so I know, because I feel like you do a lot. What is your main business model, or what are your different business models? Are you actively negotiating short sales for people? Obviously, you're training people. What is it that you're doing exactly? My
core business is loss mitigation. And what that means is we give the homeowner options. 80-90% of the time when they come to us, they're at their last leg and they just want to get rid of the property.
Got it.
But when they get rid of the property, they want to know, hey, can I leave on my own terms? I've got a sale date coming up. What can I do to postpone it without filing bankruptcy? So we do loan modifications. We do settlements of mortgages, which incidentally, not most people know. We used to do 20%, but maybe we're doing 10% now of settlement of mortgages.
Okay.
So if you've got a family member who's willing to help you out and settle your mortgage, you can physically stay in your house. So people don't know that. And then obviously, we do a short sale. We do foreclosure prevention.
Got it.
To help them like kind of sort out or give them more time in the property. And obviously there's things that can be done, but I guess at the end of the day, like people don't know what their options are. So in my training, when I train people, I tell people flat out, because everybody's calling on expired listings, and I hear the spiel that these agents regurgitate. And some of it sounds like, hi, my name is Matt. I'm a real estate agent. I see that your house was previously listed. Like, nobody wants to hear that shit. Hey, Mr. Jones, sorry, I understand your house was previously listed. It didn't sell. Just out of curiosity, the property was listed at a very high price. Tell me a little bit about what happened. And depending on how the person is pressed for time, obviously you could fill out the conversation, but it ultimately comes down to you want to know your options.
Yeah.
You want to know what your options are. Nobody's fucking hanging up on a phone call. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, of course. There's no rules on the Handsome Show.
Nobody like there's nothing in place that says like you should know what your options are.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Every agent that calls me says, oh, that agent sucked. They didn't do the proper marketing. Or my house is listed too high or whatever. I tell people, don't focus on the other agent. You might hate that agent. But like, you know what? I'm sure they did the best that they could with the abilities that they had and the information and knowledge. This is what I would do differently. And then we get into it.
Yeah.
I'm an 85% close ratio on the phone, never meeting somebody.
Wow.
First time on the telephone. And I tell people all the time, put me in the hot seat. Not many people will put their balls on the table and say, put me in the hot seat. I tell people all the time, put me in the hot seat, because you're not going to know what I know. I don't expect you to know. I've been doing it for 17 years.
What do you mean by that? Meaning when you get somebody on the phone, you say to them, put me in the hot seat, or?
So I have agents that have me on speed dial and say, look, I'm going to go door knocking, or I'm going on a presentation, or can you put me in your phone at a certain time, 10, 15 minutes, just because I warm up the tea to get the homeowner all warmed and lubed for me. Not a problem. You can do it. But really what it comes down to, I mean, not to pitch my book.
Keep doing it.
But if people really understand the footing and the foundation of short sales, they need to buy this book. I mean, dude, for less than a meal, you'll have this for the rest of your life. This will be like your guide. This will be your Bible to understand what not to say and what to say to these people.
And to just plug you even further, the amount of agents that understand how a short sale works or can even speak about it intelligently is like slim to none. So if you're an agent,
I got better than that. You ready for this? 9 out of 10 real estate agents want nothing to do.
I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that. And as a result, they're terrible. I don't take the listings. They're a waste of time. I'm like, they're a waste of time. I was like, when was the last time you took a 6% listing?
Do you know that I took on a project with an agent. I'm not going to say her name, but she's a powerhouse in South Jersey. Amazing person. She reaches out to me and says, look, you're all over social media. I don't know you from Adam. I'm going to tell you a scenario. Let me know if you think you could do anything with it. And I said, let's give it a shot. She said, I feel like you feel, because she did short sales for many years. If she comes across a short sale, she brings it to my team now. And here's why. I proved myself because she actually had an attorney, which she shared with me the email. And the attorney says, don't waste your time. Not going to happen. Nothing. Forget it. It's just not going to happen. Not only did we get the homeowner moving expense money, but we got the short sale done in under 35 days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was an investor who purchased the property. We were full disclosure with the investor of the loan through the servicer, and we were able to get it done. She was like blown away because she's like, oh, it was done under 30 days. She says, you're a liar. It was under 30 days, like 35, 40. I mean, what the hell's the difference? Joking around. But the only reason why we got that done is because we understood the rules, regulations, and guidelines.
Yeah.
If you don't understand that, you are going to fail.
Yeah, without a doubt.
100%.
Yeah, and it's so important because otherwise you're chasing documents. It's kind of like I mean, it's kind of like the mortgage process, just in a reverse scenario.
Absolutely. 100%.
So 2 questions I have for you. One, because I always like to hear these stories because I wasn't around, but I would love to know what it was like when you like went into the abyss for 3 years, when it was like short sale craziness. What was that time period like? And then I'm curious to know kind of like your prediction as a go forward coming out of the moratorium. What do you think is going to go on in New York and Jersey? Because New York and Jersey are like another planet.
I got slammed on a social media platform, like slammed.
Why?
And they were like, "You don't know what you're talking about. You're so stuck in, you want the market to collapse." And I'm like, "Listen, dude, or dudes and dudettes. At the end of the day, I hope to God that I'm wrong, and that the market, look, the market's going to correct itself regardless."
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to be like 2007, 2008? Absolutely not.
No.
And in my book, I cover exactly what happened in between that time frame. There's a chapter that's dedicated to that. But at the end of the day, it's not about me, and it's not about the person or the people that were saying, you're wrong, whatever. Then I had a lot of people reach out to me like, "Dude, I get it. You're not saying you want it to happen. I'm not saying it's going to be a crash."
Yeah.
But everybody's like, "It's not going to happen. Market's going to keep going up. It's going to do this." Dude, it's like 2005 all over again. And people that were in it just don't want to see it. And then I talk with people that are friendly with people on the banking side. And I'm almost like a schmuck. But it's like, dude, obviously you're not really that friendly with them. Because if you were, then they would tell you, we are headed towards a correction. When is the correction going to happen? It could happen in 12 months. It could happen in 24 months. I don't know. But people forget this. A little different. We've got a ton of shadow inventory from that time period. I mean, I just got a homeowner hasn't paid his mortgage in 9 years, and he's panicked because now his house is getting listed.
Yep.
Here's why he's panicked. He goes, "I have nowhere to go." Fucking 9 years, and it never occurred to you to say, "Wait, at any given time, the hammer could drop,
Yep.
and I'm going to get thrown out of my house."
Yeah, without a doubt.
Right. So now he's like, I got to think about it. I'm like, "What's to think about? It's you're going to go to sheriff's sale, or sell your house, and don't go to sheriff's sale because you don't want to have that foreclosure on your record." So I guess my prediction is, I would say probably 12 to 24 months from now, things are going to start getting a little crazy.
So a couple of things. I actually think we have a little more. My opinion is I think we have a little more time. I think this year is going to be good. Next year is going to be good. I think second half of like the third year, it starts to get a little dicey, and then it's Armageddon. That's just my opinion. But when you say it's like 2005 all over again, I just want you to elaborate on that.
No, what I'm saying is because the prices are getting driven, right? They're literally getting pumped up. I mean, I've known people, they brought a check $125,000 over asking price because they waived their appraisal.
Yeah, that's crazy town.
And or they just wanted the house so gosh darn much that they just didn't care and they wanted the property. So, things like that, obviously they're pumping up. They're pumping it in such a way where, I do believe that there's going to be an issue 12 to 24 months where the market's going to start to shift, where a lot of those numbers aren't going to be seen anymore. And people are, and more inventory is going to come on the market.
Yes.
Because, the pandemic, it's never going to go away. It's going to be around for years. But the pandemic is going to slow down a little bit more, and people are going to start selling their properties because there's no protection. There's no protection anymore. Those days are over. So, even with the people that paid rent or didn't pay rent and, really screwed like, investors or people that own buildings and put them into pre-foreclosure. There's a lot of stuff that's out there. So I think people need to be prepared eventually for a correction.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be catastrophic the way it was because there's a lot of property that has a lot of equity in it.
Yeah.
And I see it because people are like, "It's a short sale." I'm like, "Dude, it's got $210,000 in equity in it. It's not a short sale." And incidentally, we just did a deal, was going to go to sheriff's sale. Homeowner did not know she had the right to postpone the sale. We helped postpone the sale. I had her right. She signed off on an addendum that if it wasn't a short sale, because I get paid by the buyer who purchased the property. And I said, if it's not a short sale and it goes the other direction, I need to know that you feel comfortable with paying my company a fee. She said, absolutely. I'm not getting any money anyway. Well, guess what? At closing, she got $9,300. So she was more than ecstatic. And the agent loved the concept, what I brought to the table, because I was able to help navigate where he's like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't want that. The attorney didn't even want the responsibility.
So, no, do you see people getting mortgages that shouldn't be getting mortgages right now, in your opinion?
I haven't really seen anything right now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything right now that would indicate that, but I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, nobody's really calling me and saying, hey, I just got this mortgage. I wrote this mortgage. I know it's fraud, but I'm excited about it. And, so no, the answer is for me, no, I haven't seen anything, but I'm sure people are writing mortgages again, like they shouldn't be writing mortgages.
So, a lot of business is taking advantage of the arbitrage of a certain period of time where something's taken off and everybody doesn't know it. So, if you're educated and you're in a position to capitalize, let's say just you and your business from a negotiation standpoint, when do you think that these shorts are going to start to really hit the market, or people are going to realize? Because right now, I think everyone's still in la la land. Like, even though the moratorium's over and all that, I still don't think people have realized, like, hey, the party's over. And then you have, like, the government who's just all, gunked up and don't have enough judges and just whatever it is. But when do you think this stuff is going to start to really move so that people realize, like, oh shit, I have to short this thing, because either that or I'm going to get my house taken?
Well, here's the thing. So things that had happened prior to the pandemic, if that paperwork is in place and they were ready to rock and roll, there is a good chance that, they'll push it through. If something is not ready and it's not teed up, then, it might be put onto the back burner. But you have to look at it. We had 19 months of a shutdown.
Yeah.
You got to think there's probably 19 months of backed up notices and or the possibility of things being pushed out. But then also, you might have somebody who's got a clean file and just submits it and says, look, this is the information, they're down 2 years. I want the notice to go out, and the notice goes out, and if they can get on the docket, they're going to foreclose. Interesting enough, I do know of a bankruptcy attorney that told me, bankruptcy attorney told me that he saw where judges, they changed the laws in New Jersey. They're not the same as they used to be in New Jersey. Whereas in New Jersey, my state, it used to be you got basically 2 adjournments that total 30 days.
Okay.
Now they raise it. Now it's 60 days. So there's 2 adjournments and 30 days each.
Yeah.
Now the bank has 2 adjournments too, or the treasury company. Bankruptcy attorney said something interesting. People that use their adjournment and the banks have the right to adjourn it with the court, they're like, let it go, let it go, let it go. They're going to flush it through. So it's going to be a different familiarity than it was in 2007, 2008, where people are like, oh, it's going to take forever. It's not going to take forever. Those days are over. So if you haven't paid your mortgage in 2 years and you think I've got 6 years before you throw me out, that's not the case. And in other states as well, you're going to see an uptick, if you haven't already, where properties are going to sell. And the banks are saying, no, let it go, let it go, let it go. Or they would postpone it for whatever reason. The banks, they want to get things back to normal as soon as possible.
Really? So when you say let it go, meaning just let it sell, or they're taking them back? What do you meaning? Just
they want it to go to sale.
Got it.
So if if they can't sell the property at sale and then take it back, they'll take it back.
The more I'm like thinking about this and just seeing what's going on, as much as I wanted like this year to kind of be the year as an investor to be set up and really ready to take advantage of a situation like this, it seems like next year is going to be more the year of this stuff moving with still having like decent values where you could really crush it.
I think that's why I tell people. I'm telling people like a year to 2 years. In 2 years, you're going to see things moving a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah.
And people really starting to freak out
Yeah.
because, I mean, the moratorium you were able to stop the credit bureaus. That's over.
Yeah.
If you have equity in your house, honestly, if you have equity in your house, and the moratorium is over, and even if you have to like quote unquote start making your mortgage payment until you sell your property, save your credit, sell your property. Don't eat up the equity in your house.
Yeah.
But once you do that, it's gone. You're done.
No, 100%. Especially if you're, I mean, New York, the taxes are crazy. I'm sure they're crazy in Jersey too. It doesn't take a lot to burn up $100,000. It doesn't.
I have a 2-family house that keeps getting brought back to me, and I keep saying the same thing because we already spoke with the servicing company. The lady basically told the bank, the homeowner, who is on the she's on the property, she's on the mortgage. No, she's on the mortgage. I don't know. Long story short, ex-husband wants to get rid of the property. She left him. She's still spiteful to him. It's his credit. I don't know. She told the bank to go fuck themselves.
Long story short, she told the bank to go fuck themselves.
Told the bank to go fuck themselves, and they have it in the platform notes. So they told us point blank, make sure you let the homeowner know, at least the ex-husband, the next time they list the property, if they don't move forward, because they tried doing a short sale 8 times.
Yeah.
And all 8 times, this lady stopped it from being sold. She's a gangster. She's telling the people, the tenants, you got to pay me. Oh, I don't have to pay. You pay me, or you're going to get thrown out of your house. It's like, what? So there's a whole backstory to it, but we backed away from it because it's not going to go anywhere. She doesn't give a shit.
It's a waste of time.
The guy, but
Moral of the story: be careful who you buy a house with. Don't put people on the deed. Don't take a mortgage out for somebody. Don't do that, because if you don't have both parties, the deed holder and the mortgage holder together, it's not going to happen.
The stories I have, a lot of stories were not in my book because I didn't put those stories in my book. But there's a lot of stories it's complete nightmares. But we have enough in there for people to understand, and it's more like one of my attorneys is in the book, but he actually he wrote a blurb in the book, and he said, "Dude," he goes, "the way you wrote this thing, legit, it's like you're in the trenches right alongside you. You're showing people so they understand the proper way to tee up a short sale, to be able to figure out like how to talk to them, how to figure out like really what happened during the 2007 2008 crash, and there's a lot of great information. I have a resource center in here with people that I do business with. Like, I put people's information that I work with in this book for a specific reason. People are like, dude, why are you advertising people in your book? It's not about me. It's not about really it's an information guide. I want people to understand. And there's not a lot of books out about short sales.
No.
And if there are, it's not written the way I wrote it. I wrote it specifically meat and potatoes. This is what we're up against. This is what you need to know. And there's going to be a follow-up book, just so you know. Spoiler alert. And it's going to have even more meat and potatoes in it, but it's going to dive into a lot more information. But this book needed to be written the way I wrote it for a specific reason. When you read it, you'll know why.
No, I love it. Listen, I appreciate you spending the time. Appreciate you coming out, educating people on short sales, the market, your predictions, which I'm sure are going to come true. I'm going to read the book. So in general, people, if they're looking to have a short sale negotiated, they don't have the experience. Even if they do, they shouldn't be trying to do it themselves. Or if they're looking for training, how do they get in touch with you? How do they reach out to you?
So I put my information on the screen. It's MatthewMerenoff.com. And if you actually go MatthewMerenoff.com, if you do it on your phone, you'll see my digital business card will come up. And inside my digital business card is information in there. You can buy my book off of it. You can put a scenario in it, like a get started now, like I'm curious. You can go to my website. It's a lot of information in it. Or honestly, you could literally go right to Amazon and you could purchase the book and you could put my name, Matthew Merenoff, in, or Short Sell Savage in the search bar on Amazon and get the information. This book, quite honestly, is a godsend for people that really want to understand whether you're selling or buying a short sale. You really do need this book because this is the information that I talk about with real estate agents on a daily basis. Now I'm just like, listen, you know what? Go get the Kindle first and look at the information because you say the same thing over and over again. Remember, it's that 7% rule. Not everybody, they hear it, but they're not listening to it. So they need to see it over and over again. This is an amazing book, and it's going to help people navigate the proper way to do a short sale.
Love it. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm the handsome home buyer. If you have a house that smells like Cappy or needs to be short sailed, you call me. Matt will negotiate it. I'll buy it, make it beautiful. You'll resell it as an agent. It's all good all around. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.